our friend Paul, he left a comment. He's wondering, what do I do for a living online? And I thought that's a really, really good question and a really good video topic, because I want to share with you principles. It doesn't matter so much what I do, but I really want to share with you some principles. Okay, I think it would really be really beneficial if you're interested. But what I do is digital marketing at the moment. I've done different things. I've been working online now for 6 years, since 2019, and I've actually done different things in that time period. But he said that he had a degree in business, and so maybe digital marketing would be something interesting. My friend Paul and the rest of you guys watching this, it really doesn't matter what degree you have. I have a degree in chemical engineering. And when I graduated, I didn't want to work in the field. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I just knew that I want to pursue my passion. And at the time, my passion was fitness, and I had like a YouTube channel, and then I was doing some things to earn money from it, but not enough for me. So then I worked in coffee shops, I worked moving furniture, I worked as an Uber driver for 7 months. So I did all these different things. And then in 2019, I came across this. I really was obsessed with the idea of working online. And I came across teaching English online. And when I came across it, I thought, interesting. I looked into it. The company at the time that I worked with, VIP Kid, all you needed was a degree. So actually, my degree came in handy. You needed a university degree, and then you can make up some experience about you teaching. With, I just said, I taught some kids, that Syrian refugee kids, which is kind of half of a truth. I didn't formally teach them, but I just kind of try to teach them words here and there. Anyways, I worked as an English teacher. I started here in Canada in 2019, but I realized I could go move to different places. I moved to Thailand. It's so much cheaper there, and I could just work less. I was only doing 2 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week, so every day. I was doing 2 hours a day. I could have done more, right? But I didn't want to work much. I wanted to work just a little bit. So I wasn't making that much money, but just enough for me to live in a country like Thailand and travel budget friendly to different countries. So I worked as an English teacher from 2019 until 2023. I was doing English teaching. And along the way, I also got into crypto. I made some money from it, then lost most of it. And what else did I do? So then in that period, from 2019 to 2023, I was doing English teaching, living on low budget all the time. And in fact, at some point, somewhere around 2022 or 2023, I can't remember when, I think 2022, I went completely broke. I was in Ecuador, I went completely broke, and I borrowed money from my brother. It was $3,000. And then I worked as an English teacher after again, because I stopped working for a while. I had some money saved up from crypto, but I ran out of it. Then I went completely broke. I called my brother. I was like, hey, I need money. So I borrowed $3,000 from him. That sort of gave me a boost. I was living with my girlfriend at the time. Gave me a boost for 2 months. And in those 2-3 months, I went back into English teaching. Taught for a year. And then in 2023, I started the digital marketing. And I'll explain it to you in a minute. What do I want to say? I'll talk to you about the digital marketing specifically, what it is, how I got into it, which is mostly luck, to be honest. But there are some principles here to understand and apply. So digital marketing, essentially, what I do now, what I've been doing since 2023 is I work with a client, and this client is a debt. What is it exactly? It's a debt consolidating company. Okay. He's actually from Costa Rica. He lives in Costa Rica. And I got into it through my brother. So this is what I mean by luck, right? I got lucky. So what we do is we see, okay, this is his business. This is how it works. He wants to advertise it and get people who are in debt to sign up. And then he helps them manage their debt and consolidate it into one payment, etc., etc. So what I do what we do, because I work with my brother. We're a team. It's me, my brother, his wife, and his wife's brother, Steven, good guy. And so we advertise for his company on Facebook, on TikTok, on Google, and YouTube. Okay? You know, when you're scrolling through Facebook and you see those freaking annoying ads, I'm the douchebag that makes some of them for that specific client. But those are the ads. You know, when you see a video or an image and there's like ad copy underneath it and sign up here or learn more here, I'm that douchebag. Obviously, I'm only working with one client, but I am one of several douchebags that do that stuff. Okay, advertising. So I never did advertising. I didn't know anything about it. I just got lucky. I knew my brother. He got me in. I learned a ton. Like, I knew zero about it. When I got into it, I spent the first 3 months just fully immersed, fully committed to learning all about how to advertise, how to create appealing ads, etc., etc., etc. I understood the business model. I understood the client pain points, etc., etc. I really, really wanted to learn how to advertise because I wanted to succeed at this thing. And it's well paying. It's well paying. It's well paying enough that I could comfortably live in a very expensive country like Canada, right? So again, there is that luck element. I do not take credit because I just knew my brother. He got into it a year before me, and then he got me into it. So I've been working there since with our client since 2023, and things are going well, and they're still going well. And the income can vary. So my income has varied since then. But just to put it in simple terms, this is the most comfortable I've been financially in my life. I've struggled. I've had to, so after I graduated from chemical engineering, I had money saved up from my internship as a chemical engineer. Lasted me for a couple of years. Then I had to borrow $5,000 from my friend. Eventually paid him back like 4 years later, right? Borrowed money from my brother again. I did a bunch of things in the way. I struggled. Okay, I struggled. It's not, I struggled to get in a pretty comfortable position where I am. All credit goes to the force for that because I can't take credit for it. I really got lucky with it. But so the principles that I want to talk about is when I graduated as a chemical engineering in 2015, I had a commitment and a vision and a belief that I do not want to work a 9 to 5. I do not want to work a job that restricts me. And at the time, it was just starting the online thing. I wanted to make it as a YouTuber, as a fitness YouTuber at the time, but anyways, I actually got the channel to 100,000 subscribers, but then I didn't want to do fitness no more. I had a change of mind. Okay, so like I said, along the way, I did some moving furniture at some point, and that was backbreaking work, right? And then again, like even as recent as 2022, I went broke. I had borrowed money from my brother. So, but throughout this time, I kept the faith. I kept the open-mindedness. I kept the belief that I can have a job where I work online. I have flexibility, whether it's location flexibility, work hours flexibility, and I can make good money from it. And I just had this belief and this faith, and it took 2015 till 2023 until I found this, what I would actually describe as a dream job. I have a dream job now. It took 8 years. Okay, it took borrowing a total of $8,000 from my friend and then my brother. It took plus like I'm a simple man, so my expenses, I keep them super low, super low. The whole time I was keeping them super low. But ever since 2023, I have to say I've been a bit of a spender because I'm started to make good money, and so why not, right? Money comes to you if you try to hold on to it. Not a good feeling, so you do spend some of it. Anyways, digital marketing. So like I said, it's making Facebook advertisements, TikTok, etc. I'm not so interested in that. What I want to drive across to you guys is have the vision and have the belief that you can create the life that you want to create. And it could take time. Doesn't have to take 8 years like it took for me, but it can take time, and it can take a lot of heartaches and headaches along the way, right? But just keep that vision, because you can. I love you guys, and I really, I really want you guys to create a good life for yourself, the life that you want. I really do. In a sea of suffering on this earth. Like, I was just scrolling. You know what? Why I really wanted to make this video? I don't usually make videos at night, but I was just scrolling through Reddit Canada jobs, okay? And I was seeing how people are really struggling to get jobs here, and really struggling with how expensive it is, because it is expensive. And I said, wow, man, I'm so lucky. Like, I gotta make the video right now, because I wrote it. I wanted to make it. Like, I gotta make it right now, because I love these guys. I love you guys, the subscribers. And I'm reading this, and I'm seeing how much people are struggling, and I could see that all these people, they don't understand that if they just commit themselves and dare to dream, that eventually they can find themselves in favorable circumstances in life. They can. It may just take, like I said, a lot of heartaches and a lot of headaches. So commit yourself to the vision that you want to create. Commit yourself to it, and be open-minded to how it can happen. And then, the saying, luck favors the bold, right? Luck favors the bold. So if you're bold in your life, eventually luck will favor you. That's how I see my situation, how it unfolded, as far as finances go, and the kind of job that I have. I see it as I was bold enough to ignore the advice of my parents and the advice of my friends, and all the doubts and everything. But I had no idea how I was going to create this. And it took 8 freaking years to do it, to eventually get lucky, because that's what I got lucky. My brother got into it for a year. He made good money out of it, and then he introduced me to the whole thing. I got lucky. But in 2015, I had no idea that I would do this kind of work and in this kind of manner, and make pretty good money off of it. I had no idea. I didn't know, but I kept an open mind, and I've tried, like I said, along the way, many different things, and worked many different, but I was committed. Like in 2019, you don't make a lot of money from teaching English online. So you kind of by default have to go and find a country that is cheap. It's hard to do this work here in Canada, and because it's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money online English teaching. There's a lot of companies there, by the way. But I saw it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to live in Thailand. I'm going to live in a country that has really low expenses. I'm going to simplify the hell out of my expenses, make them as little as possible. Lived in most of my travels, I lived in small, tiny cabins, huts, just things you pay. Like in Ecuador, the first 3 years, I lived in Ecuador for 4.5 years. For like most of it, except for the last 4 months of it. I lived in a small hut, $350 a month. Okay? So I kept my expenses really low. And so you do what you gotta do. I already, like in 2019 though, I would say in 2019, okay, boom. That's it. I was like, oh, I have the freedom now, the flexibility. But it takes, you simplify your life, you reduce your expenses, you do what you gotta do. And so I started off with English teaching. And then, yeah, that wasn't a lot of money, but it allowed me to travel. It allowed me the freedom. I was only doing 2 hours a day. And then eventually I got to this here, where I am now. And where I am now, by the way, it's not like a stable job thing. Like I could wake up one day and then I'm not doing this anymore. Okay. However, I learned a lot of skills along the way, and now that I'm here in Canada, I like this country. It's really expensive, but I want to settle here and I want to buy a house here. So now I'm thinking, okay, what are different ways that I can even generate more income so I can buy a house here? Okay. My point is, what I'm trying to drive at you guys is don't let your mind limit you here. Even in the worst of circumstances in the world, if your mind is tuned into the right frequency, eventually, depending on how strong your commitment in your belief is, eventually you will stumble upon something that will tingle your balls, okay? That will tingle your ovaries, that will make you in the financial sense. Because trust me, you could be happy in the financial sense, but if your health is bad, if this is bad, but we're just talking strictly financially here. Okay? Don't let your mind limit you, because you don't know you have to keep an open mind. You don't know what kind of opportunities out there. You don't know what kind of thing you're gonna come across. You don't know how you're gonna get lucky, but eventually you'll get lucky if you're bold enough. Eventually, you just be prepared. May or may not be hurdles along the way. You may do it, and within a year, boom, wow, you got the dream job. And so I guess try English teaching. If you really want to commit to it, you go move somewhere cheap. Not all English teaching jobs need a degree. Some do, some don't. A lot of them do. The higher paying ones do. So if you have, our friend Paul here, for example, you've got a degree. Boom. Right now, from your home, just because you got a degree, you can. It's very easy, by the way. There are like 40 companies. I made a list on them one day. If you guys are really, really interested, let me know in the comments. I can maybe create a separate video just for English teaching, and I will share with you like a list of companies, okay? You mass apply to them, you will get a job, okay? If you have a degree. So but there are companies that don't require a degree. So that's something you could do right away. But if you're living in a country like America or Canada, don't expect to make money to make you live comfortably. Okay, if you're maybe sharing, let's say you're living with your family right now, okay, you make good money to support you with your food, or maybe save a little bit. But I'm saying if you just want to live on your own in a decent place, have decent food, decent everything, and maybe do some savings, it's not gonna be enough. So right now, anybody that has a degree, so incredibly easy to work as an English teacher online. Incredibly easy, and it's a growing market. People all across. I worked with a South Korean company. I worked with a Chinese company. I worked with a Polish company. No, I didn't work with a Polish company. No, I actually got the interview, but then and then I rejected it because I got a better job with the South Korean company. But there are so many, like everyone wants to learn English now. Okay, it's a growing market. It's a great time to get into English teaching, actually. Like I said, you don't need I was a chemical engineer. They don't care. As long as you speak good English, good enough, decent enough, doesn't even have to be perfect. I got a bit of an accent here. Okay, I'm not a native speaker, but I'm good enough. All you need to do is good enough, have a degree for, I would say 70% of those jobs, English teaching jobs. So you can start there, and then from there on, open your mind. If you want to make more income, if you want this, you never know how you get lucky. Just be bold enough and say, no, commit yourself. I am going to create the kind of financial freedom and flexible work hours and flexible time and all. I will create that. Commit yourself to it. Be bold. And you can start with something like English teaching. And there are other ways to do it. And then from there, you just don't know. You just don't know what can happen. You don't know what kind of opportunity you come across, right? The luck favors the bold. Okay? So that's it. Good luck, my friend Paul. Good luck to all of you guys. Don't let this hell realm, earth suffering place get to you. We can still create decent enough lives for ourselves. I say decent enough because suffering is suffering. You'll suffer. You'll lose stuff. Okay, you'll lose stuff. It's suffering. It's just suffering. But we can create decent enough lives for us. Decent enough is good enough in this life where everybody's suffering like crazy. Okay? So that's about it. Good luck, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next video.